Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is another Tuesday live night. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever, but that's because I've been on a trip. Literally, I think our last live night was the night before my trip. I got back last night, so it feels like a lot has gone on. But I was out in Kansas City, Missouri, not hosting, but I was a part of a workshop/retreat. If you're like curious, I've got photos of it up on Instagram, but I was out teaching classes in person, which I have not done since before COVID. And I was teaching about animal communication. And then I also did a psychic clairs class. I had so much fun, kind of a little vacation for me and my family as well. So if you're ever in the Kansas City, Missouri area, you have to check out Milo Farms. It's a really cool retreat where there's like a lot of campgrounds, bunk houses, so you can stay there on property. They have so many fun things to do, and it's very like woo-woo. There's like classes going on, so I'm sure I'm going to teach there again in the future because it's like related to family. But yeah. If any of you are watching a replay and you saw me at that event, thank you so much for coming. I had so much fun. It was so hot, but we had a really good time. So on Tuesday nights, every other Tuesday, we do live nights here where I give out readings. So we start with kind of like a group topic. We have a group reading. So I've got a pick a card reading tonight. Again, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Tune into that now. See which one is for you. And then we follow it up with individual readings. Unfortunately, tonight, I have to be super quick. I am just so busy. Like, I don't know about you guys, but summer, I just always overbook myself. I've just got so much going on. This week is just like chaotic. And yeah, it's basically, I've got 3 weeks of chaos and then I'm going on vacation again. So once that vacation is over, I'm going to be a little more present with you guys. We're going to have a little bit more consistency with our lives. That being said, the 2 weeks from now is actually going to be our member-only live night. So if you want to join us for that, you have to sign up through Patreon. Next Tuesday, I actually go live pretty much every Tuesday, but a lot of it is for the Patreon members. So next Tuesday, for example, we're going to be doing a psychic game night. Following Tuesday is going to be that members only. And then that next Tuesday, which is the first one of September, normally I would be here, but again, I'm going to be on vacation. So you guys aren't going to see me for a long time. But if you hop on over to Patreon, you'll get to see me and it'll feel like I'm not really gone that much. Hey, Lori. Hello from Malaysia. Awesome. Welcome. What time is it over there? Hello, Butterfly. Hello, Linda. I'm so glad you guys are catching me live for the first time. Woohoo. So let's jump into it. Oh, I need to set my timer. So if you are just a YouTube member, I set a timer at the beginning of this. And whoever is a member that comments closest when my timer goes off, you end up getting a reading for tonight. But let's get into the group message. In the group message tonight, I was like, last time we were here, I was like, okay, we want to talk about psychic development topics. I kept asking my guys, I was like, what should I talk about psychic development wise? And they were just like very heavy, like, no, you just need to get into some readings. Like there's just this energy of everyone needing to like let go of something. So we're not talking about like psychic development topic tonight. I literally probably pulled 5 or 6 cards and I was just like looking for a psychic development topic. I was like, what can I talk about? And it was all just like, they need to let things go. They need to like address something. There's emotions that need to be processed. So we're going to focus more so tonight on that group reading. Okay, that's not too early on your side. Yeah. All my folks in the UK, you guys never catch my lives because I'm just like not in a good time zone for this time that I'm going live. So overall vibe, we need to let go of stuff. Maybe that's like residual full moon stuff. This was the first full moon of the entire year that I didn't do anything. Didn't bring my Moonology book with me because I didn't want to pack very much, so I have no idea what was going on with the full moon. Can't speak to it too much. All I know was that it was a full moon in Aquarius, but I'm kind of hearing that a lot of it is residual full moon energy. Let me know how that went for you guys. Like, that would have been last Wednesday, Thursday. All right, and so we've got pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3 group reading. And I first asked, what do you need to let go of? What is this thing that's coming up? Pile number 1, gossip. With gossiping, you might not literally be gossiping so much, but this is like caring too much about what other people think. It could also be like people pleasing. Like that's what I'm hearing with this first card. You're so worried about everyone else or what other people are saying about you, what they're not saying about you. Like there with pile number 1, there's this huge focus on like, you're way too focused on everyone else and what they think or feel. You can't control that. It shouldn't affect you. Like, let's let go of the idea of gossip. Oh, and the fact that I pulled the moon card with this, gosh, I feel like these two actually, that very similar theme. So pile number 1, how this is showing up might be that you're just not being your true self. Maybe you're hanging around people that are negative. Like maybe this is you. I love this card because it always looks like this person is vomiting like sprinkles into the other person's ear. I haven't played with this deck in a long time and I wanted to pull it out. So like you guys, pile number 1, you're wearing a mask. Maybe you're doing it to make other people happy. Maybe it's because you don't want to set boundaries. But there's something going on here with other people. And in a lot of ways, you might be betraying your own trust because you're keeping your boundaries to yourself. Or maybe it is that you are the gossiper this time. Maybe you are really in other people's energy because you're hurting or something. One of my favorite quotes about like gossiping, or is it gossiping? No, now I got to find it. Sorry. Now I saved it on Instagram because I want to save it one day or share it one day, but it's such a good quote. Where is it? And this is like coming up strongly, which is why I wanted to share it. Gossip, where is that? Gossip is getting high on someone else's pain. Sit with that. Gossip is getting high off of someone else's pain. And I do feel like some of you guys might be doing this. I mean, I feel like we all do it, you know? We get into modes where we're hurting, and so it's a lot easier instead of addressing our own hurt to find it in other people and gossip about it. Because really, it feels good to gossip about other people's stuff and not deal with our own things. So pile number 1, the universe is asking you to take off that mask. Either speaking up for yourself, standing up for yourself a little bit more, setting those boundaries, saying no to the people that are doing this around you, or maybe saying no to doing it yourself. And then the card of action that I got is take a breather. Last moon in Cancer. So pile number 1, the emotions are definitely very high. This is saying just take a time out. Like maybe, I know summer's not over yet, but maybe cancel some plans. Like come back to self. I feel like that is something I haven't done in weeks. My nighttime routine has been gone. I've just been going. I have too much to do, signed up for way too much. And I've just been going from like one thing to the next. So I also feel like that might be for me. So take a breather, pile number 1. Mellow Bunny arrives. I feel the same, Silly Rabbit. It's been raining all day here too, which is kind of nice. Full moon hit you hard. Ugh. Very, very intense emotionally around the new moon. Yeah, and see, I was on a trip, so I didn't quite like notice it as much, but I did notice it in the other people around me. Thursday, we went camping this weekend, and the moon was so big. I got some amazing pictures. So did I. I was at that retreat, and so I was out like literally on a farmland, so I was able to get some good shots too. Just joined and feel I'm pile 1. Awesome. Pile number 1, we just need to disconnect, pull back from other people a little bit. We're in other people's energy too much. You're either overly empathetic, you're making up stories about what other people are saying about you, or maybe you're kind of making up things so that you can feel better about like whatever's going on in your life. Pile number 2, what we need to let go of. Ooh, this is all boundary related. The inability to defend yourself against negative forces. So I pulled Child Divine, and I'm particularly going to the shadow because these cards are like, this is the light side, this is the shadow side, so it's the good and the bad. And I'm basically asking, like, what do we need, what's going on, what role, I should say, are we taking on right now that we need to let go of? And with you guys, you can kind of shift into being more of the divine child. Think about being more childlike, being more connected to your intuition, spirituality. Somebody who's not connected in that way, they can't defend themselves. That child gets taken advantage of. Like, I'm just hearing boundaries big time with this card. Oh, and then I asked how it's showing up right now. Anxiety. Pile number 2, you guys are anxious. And maybe that's just because you haven't understood how to kind of, again, set up those boundaries between you and whatever is making you anxious. And it's interesting because the last card I pulled for you, keep your heart open, that to me is kind of saying, like, there's a little bit of a shield, a little bit of a block going up because of the anxiety, but it's almost like I'm hearing that you're like protecting yourself from the wrong things. Like, you think, you need to protect yourself from this, but that's actually not the issue. Your anxiety is making it a little bit bigger than it needs to be. So coming back to your center, coming back to your innocence, your purity, your connection with the divine. Like, how can I get into a playful, almost like naive, children just run about and they do whatever they want and they don't really care about the consequences. Some part of you is afraid of doing that. Because you're living so much in this anxiety, this flight or fight, like, have to defend myself, have to protect myself, right? And so this is saying by opening up your heart, you're trusting more. You're trusting the universe a little bit more. And for some reason, that's going to help with the anxiety, and it's going to get you connected more with your own boundaries again, so that oh, okay, I don't really need to be setting boundaries around this. That's actually my anxiety talking. But I do need to set boundaries over here. I hope that makes sense. Thinking a lot, LOL. That might be a little bit of that Aquarius energy, I wonder. Pile number 1 and 2 are resonating with me so much. Yes, if you missed the beginning of this, normally we talk about like a psychic development topic, or at least that's my new intention. But guides tonight were just like, no, we need to talk about letting something go. There's just like huge energy around, like, we're in it and we need to walk away from it. So pile number 3, I'm going to pull a follow-up card for this. What we need to be walking away from. Okay, I see. So I got the Alchemist, and I didn't quite understand the shadow side, because it says misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice, and that intuitively didn't feel right to me. So I pulled the follow-up card, Engineer. And so thinking about like these as two opposites, right now we're trying to be, pile number 3, you're trying to be too analytic, too, like, I'm hearing like going through the same motions every day. You're doing XYZ over and over again. And we need to just break out of old habits that aren't serving us, so that we can be more of like an alchemist, transforming your motives and your goals into wisdom. Like, when I think of an alchemist, I really think of somebody who can get creative, who can turn a situation into something else, who can really make like something out of nothing. And when we're doing like our daily grind and doing the same things over and over again, we get stuck in a rut, like mentally. And it's because of that we just can't like see how to do things differently. And the fact that we got the Queen of Cups as well, like, this to me is saying like, you're not prioritizing yourself. Like, Queen of Cups energy is like putting you first, doing the inner work around your emotions so that you can show up emotionally ready, secure, protected, just feeling good with yourself. And there's something about doing things the same old way. Maybe you're doing old habits, like not taking care of your body, not getting enough sleep, not doing those things that will help you get creative, get in the zone. Like, when I see this Alchemist card, it's almost like there's easier ways to go about the things you're trying to go about, and you can't see it when you're just doing the same old. I hope that makes sense. Ooh, I don't think I've ever pulled this card. So I asked what you can do about this. Detoxify. I kind of feel like this is for everybody. Full moon in Taurus. Oh, and when I think of like full moon in Taurus, I think of just like pleasure. It's about said pleasuring yourself. Well, why not? Maybe it's that too. All right, so my member timer just went off. Heidi was the one that commented closest. So Heidi, feel free to start us off with the individual readings if you want me to answer a question. You've got it. I'm going to close this door because it's cold. But full moon in Taurus, like to me, that's like pampering yourself. Like Tauruses are all about like luxury, like really putting time and effort into like pampering yourself, like making your surroundings beautiful. I think massages, getting your nails done, like stuff like that. And so in order to step into that Queen of Cups energy, you need to detoxify. You need to give yourself a little bit of what you're missing. You know, maybe detoxifying is just giving yourself some more sleep, taking a shower, like drinking more water throughout the day. Maybe it's moving your body some more so that you can just get rid of that icky feeling and get moving a little bit more. But right now you're just going through the same motions, and that's just not helping. I feel like it's the same motions that are negative that we need to get rid of. All right, that was pile number 3. I honestly feel like I could pull like 3 more piles because I feel like there's a lot of people that need to let go of a lot of different things. But maybe we'll just kind of continue on with that theme tonight. Hot and sunny Oregon. Ooh, that's odd for Oregon, right? Alrighty. I don't have any announcements for tonight other than we're not going to have another live night for a while. I will have that updated on my website soon. So if you are still wanting to hang out live, again, we have Patreon. We have a lot of lives over there. All right, that's Heidi's question. Started a liver detox physically. Awesome. Oh, hey, Monica. That's kind of a group reading towards the beginning. You can just intuitively feel out which pile is meant for you, and you can kind of rewind it and go back. So pile 1, 2, or 3 is what we just read. But now we're going to jump into individual readings. How those work is that you can send a donation and you can get a reading, or you can wait for a free guessing game reading. I'm going to start with Heidi. Yeah. Ouch. Liver detoxing too here. Oh, interesting. Okay. So let me start with Heidi. Heidi's birthday is on Wednesday. Woohoo! Happy birthday, Heidi. You're still in a Leo, or you're still a Leo, correct? Like you're not, I don't think we're quite hitting Virgo yet. I think Virgo season starts later this week. Going on a solo trip, that sounds awesome. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So the cards that I got in reverse were the 8 of Cups and Full Moon in Capricorn, take a reality check. Both of these cards, like the energy of them is like sit down, move on, like figure out what's not working, move forward. But the fact that these are coming up reverse, this to me is saying like, don't be tempted to do that. Don't be tempted to use this solo trip to like figure out all your crap that's not going well in your life. You know, sometimes we do that, you know, when we're going on vacation, we're like, oh, I'm going to have all this time alone. I'm going to use it to really just like rethink my life and come back refreshed and different with a new game plan. Like Heidi, they're saying like use it almost as the opposite. Use it to just be, to exist, to rest is like what I'm hearing. And then when you get home, you'll be able to do this. But trying to like rest and do this, they're showing me it's like on 2 opposite ends of the spectrum, and you'd either be doing this and not resting, or sort of resting and not fully doing this. They're kind of like, really just try not to worry about your to-do list. There's going to be space and time and rest, and in that rest you're going to get those intuitive hits, on how to move forward and how to really like make those changes that you've been like thinking about, but don't put the pen to paper until you like come home is kind of what I'm hearing. Yeah, it's almost this energy of like put the work down and don't worry about it till later. And maybe that is just like actual work. But it just feels a little bit more like don't try to use the trip as like a way to be like, oh, I'm going to change my whole life. I'm going to sort out all the things that are working wrong or not working right on this trip. Do that when you come back. I hope that makes sense. All right. Virgo, your birthday's on the 24th. Nice. Happy birthday. I'm a Virgo rising, so it's technically not my birthday, but my husband's birthday is coming up. He's a Virgo sun and moon. I need to get him a birthday present. Alrighty, I think we're all caught up now, so I guess we'll start with the guessing game. Again, tonight is going to be very short. Unfortunately, I have to go like write a bunch of contracts after this and do a bunch of things that I basically need to catch up from my last trip. And I hate that, but it's like I've got some tight deadlines this week. Alrighty. I am thinking of food. If you can think of the food that I'm thinking of, then you get a reading. There's a lot of food out there. How do I narrow it down? It's a breakfast food. I'm thinking of a breakfast food. Breakfast foods. Not strawberries, not pancakes, not cereal. We're doing a free reading right now. If you can guess the breakfast food that I'm thinking of, then you get a reading. Cupcakes for breakfast. Omelet. Nobody's gotten yet. It's too quiet in here. I need to play music, but I'm always afraid that I'm going to get binged for whatever it's called on YouTube. Demonetized. Bacon! Tiffany, you got it. So, Tiffany Moore, let me know what question you have. I will use my cards to answer said question. Cupcakes are for any time. Yes. Oh, goodness. So waiting on Tiffany's question. Red tarot cards. Yes, so these, I have not used them in a long time. These are the archetype tarot cards. And they basically represent the Jungian archetypes. That I don't know if it was like a literature-based thing first or a psychology-based thing first, maybe a little bit of both. But they describe like the roles that we play in our life. So bully, healer, goddess, addict, vampire, engineer, monk, nun, storyteller. I love this deck. I don't use it enough. Okay. Tiffany wants to know, what will my future look like? What is the deck called? It is called... Somebody asked about this in one of my videos too. They saw just the side of it and they were like, what is it? So the Carolyn Miss archetype cards. Like visually, I would not like have chosen them, but I love them because they're really good for representing people like in a situation, or like what energy you need to bring to the table or what energy somebody else needs to bring to the table. That's what I use this deck for. Right, Tiffany. All right. So obviously, Tiffany, there's a lot in your future, and since we're doing such short readings, I'm only giving you like a teensy tiny bit. But I pulled like one bigger thing that I think might take up a good chunk of your life, and I pulled artist. So maybe you're already doing it, maybe you're sort of like diving into it, and an artist could be like of any medium, of any form. Like it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be like painting. It could be that you make sculptures, you do graphic design, but there's something definitely in the future with you becoming an artist. And I want to ask, like, is there anything else we need to know about this? I should say with this artist, expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. And then I pulled the Page of Cups and the Hanged Man. And I think the reason why, being an artist in some form, that doesn't always either mean, it doesn't always mean you're going to like sell the artwork or like profit off of it. It could just be for yourself, but it's going to help you move through emotions and like deal with emotions. There's something about you sitting down and doing some art that is almost necessary for like your mental health and dealing with kind of the emotional stuff that you've got going on, especially when you feel like you're in a tight spot and you just can't see things in a different way and you kind of need to like have a new fresh perspective. And to me, again, I don't necessarily see it as like maybe you would sell. I think there's going to be a point where you're like, ooh, do I sell something? Do I sell it or do I just keep it to myself? But the key here that they want you to remember is that it is a lot for you to process your mental stuff, your emotions. So really don't oversell yourself or make it into something that you hate, because it's almost like you need this to be able to like have a good mental health. I hope that makes sense. But I do hear that if you do decide to like sell this or like profit off of it in some sort of way, you're going to help other people kind of with that. Like maybe your message is like, hey, I make this art because I was going through something at the time, and maybe people will connect to your art because of that, and it will help them see things in a new way and kind of process their own emotions, which I know that kind of sounds odd, but like I know of one artist that like she very heavily markets like what she was going through in her life at the time that she drew something. And to me, I think I resonate with her artwork more because I'm like, oh, I totally know what that feels like. And so when I look at it, I remember, oh yeah, that's the message. And I don't know. I hope you get what I mean. I think it can definitely touch people in that way. And that artist that I was talking about is actually, you can't see it very well, but it's the frame that I got behind me. But yeah, Tiffany, if you're ever thinking about like getting into art in some sort of way, I think that was them kind of giving you permission, because I kind of feel like you maybe don't know exactly what you want to do in the future. So maybe that's permission that it might be successful. I know this might sound obvious, but damn, tarot cards are pretty symbolic tools to use, aren't they? Oh, yes. And some of the artwork can be so symbolic. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because this week's video is going to be the introduction to the tarot. Finally, I'm putting up this video. I haven't started editing it, and it's going to be a really long video, so I need to get started on it. Lots of things to do this week. I just bought my first deck, your Oracle deck of Oracle per Spirit. I've never read cards before. Nice, Linda. Well, check out my video on how to read I think it's tarot and oracle cards intuitively. And I also just did a video on like what the difference is between tarot, oracle, and Lenormand. And again, tarot will be up this week. Lenormand is a collab that I'm doing soon. We're going to have that probably closer to end of September, maybe October. Yay, yes. Hopefully I can get it up by Saturday. It's a big edit. Woohoo, I'm glad you guys are so excited. All right. Let's do another guessing game. I am thinking of a color, If you can think of the colors that I'm thinking of, then you get the next reading. Hang on, I'll answer. Okay, pink, silly rabbit, you got it. So silly rabbit, let me know what your question is. You also said lately I've had trouble reading tarot cards that have broader meanings, like the moon card. Yes, that can be hard because, and I talk about this in the video, there's so many interpretations of, especially of the major arcanas, and you'll come across somebody who's like, the moon means this, and then you'll come across somebody that's like, the moon means that. And really, you just have to assign like one meaning, one keyword to it, and then you can broaden out from there. But for the sake of memorizing, you kind of need to distill it down and really use the same source. Because what I used to do that confused me a lot is like, I would look up the moon card and I would just go with the first website that popped up. And then the next time I'd look it up, it would be a completely different website, or I'd use a book or something. And so the meanings never matched up, and then it got confusing and I never memorized it. And just know that with the tarot, like, you can get so many meanings. You can get meanings from the colors. You can get meanings from the images. You can get meanings from the name, the original meaning of the card. Like, there's so many like added meanings that you can get from these that it can be overwhelming. So it's really just like go with your gut and what sticks out most. Like when I pull this sun card, there's so many images in here. You got sunflowers, you got butterflies, you got this woman in a yellow dress, lots of oranges, yellows. It's what sticks out to you at that current moment. Like maybe the butterflies really stick out to you, or maybe the word the sun just sticks out to you the most, or maybe you're not really connecting with the images and you're just going off of, I remember what that card means. So yeah, I talk about memorization techniques in the video that's coming out this Saturday. I bought tarot and Spirit said, no, do Oracle first. Yes, I do agree. I think Oracle is a little bit easier to jump into. So silly rabbit, let me know what your question is. And this is like my new favorite tarot deck. This is obviously not the original. I will show you. Well, you've already seen the original in my comparison video where I compared all three. But this one is so, it's just, I love this deck so much. I even took it with me to Missouri because I was like, oh, I need a tarot deck. And if I need one, I want this one. And I didn't touch it the whole time, but because I was so busy, but it made me feel good just having it close by. And it's like gold on the side. As you know, I've had communication problems with Miguel. We are kind of on speaking terms, but right now I've chosen to not talk. I assume that's your boss? I'll just read off of the name. What's the best way to handle this communication? Okay. Oh, ex-boyfriend. Okay, that's okay. I was reading the name. Okay. Really what I'm getting with this is like to think it through before talking to him. Because I pulled the orphan child in the center, and I kind of said like, what's the dynamic between the two of you that should happen? And the orphan child, obviously we kind of understand what like the negative aspect of like being an orphan is, but the positive side is being independent, learning to go it alone, conquering your fear of surviving. So to me, this is saying like at the core of your communication, you should feel secure and firm in your independence, that you don't have to like, you're not trying to go fulfill your loneliness by like attaching onto somebody else. Like literally the shadow side of this card is seeking inappropriate surrogate families. So as long as kind of you're anchored in the intention that I can go it alone. I don't need this. Like, I'm independent. I can survive without this. I think that's going to help you a lot, because if you're going into it with like, I need this person to survive, it's going to affect kind of how you act. And I basically just asked, what should you be moving towards and what should you like be moving away from when it comes to like communicating with him? And really you should be moving towards what makes you feel good. Expanding, like, the energy of the 9 of Cups is really like, what makes me feel good? How can I go out and get those needs fulfilled independently again? Like, what do I need to feel that happiness, to feel that independence? And what you need to not be doing, kind of moving away from, is acting out, or not acting out, acting quickly on your emotions. Like, sometimes it's good to take action and move fast on your emotions, but in regards to him, this is kind of saying like, pump the brakes, don't speed up and rush into things. Like, really think before you speak. So to me, this is kind of like intuitively like taking it one step at a time, anchoring in the energy of independence, of I don't need this to be happy. I can fulfill my own happiness. This is like the emotional contentment card, without like pursuing this person. But I'm going to feel it out as I go, because things might change. That's kind of like, oh no, the energy that I'm getting. You're welcome. Thank you, Silly Rabbit. Alrighty. We got about like 30 more minutes together. Let's see. I am thinking of a mythical creature. If you can think of the mythical creature that I'm thinking of, then you get a reading. You guys are fast. A bunny. I always like come up with these by looking at something in my room. Had to remember what it was. Mythical creature. And I'll show you guys this mythical creature that I got. Santa. That's technically right. Once somebody guesses it, you guys are going to be like, God, I knew it. Monica, you got it. Oh, Taro, you were so close. I have Monica showing up in my feed first, and that's mermaid. And let me show you the new mermaid that I got. I got my new commission in. Oh, gasp. Can you see it? Kind of got a glare going on. But I asked her to kind of draw like a mermaid in the moonlight. I might change the frame, but this was done by Anus Designs. Oh, not Anus. I'm sorry. Anus Designs. Oh, goodness. It's like Mercury is in retrograde, but it's not. So Anus Designs, her name's Haley. She's a Colorado artist. If you've seen my tour of this shed, she did my other thing that I've got hanging up over here of Tiger Lily. Oh. Yeah, I think I'm going to reframe it and then get it up on the wall. Says a louder. Ooh. Thank you, Butterfly. Okay, Butterfly, I will get to you right after Monica. So, Monica, let me know what your question is. Ow, sizzle again. That word, I just read it. I know it's like an herb, right? Or is it? No, it's not an herb. It's like a nut. I don't know. It's a spice. I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. But it's like the star anise. But I read it in my head the opposite way. So when I talk about it, sometimes it comes out the wrong way. It's like, how many of you read Harry Potter and you didn't know how to say her Hermione's nick the longest time, and every time you like read it or said it out loud back then, you called her like Hermione. That's what I used to call her. Okay. So Monica, and then I'll jump back up to you, Butterfly Totem. ANISE Designs. She's on oh, let me show you. Sorry, hey, pass. She gave me 2 more prints because she took a little bit longer with the custom design than she meant to. So she gave me this one of hers. Isn't that beautiful? I don't know where to put this one yet, but that one, and then this one, which is going into our camper, our Airbnb like camper, because it's like bright colors. Isn't that beautiful? Heck, I might put this one up over there. I don't know. I need more from her. But yeah, if you like her stuff, ANISE Designs on Instagram. I love this one of hers. I think I might be selfish though. I just realized it would look so much cooler in here than in the camper like I was originally planning. Anyways, okay. All right. Sorry, Monica. Let me get to you. And then Butterfly. Okay. My partner and I are breaking up after 5 years by my decision. And should I fully let go because he wants me back? Ooh. I'm glad I pulled out the archetype cards tonight. One, I'm sorry. That's got to be so hard. It's hard to walk away from something for sure. I'm hearing Monica to go back and rewatch the group reading because that might help. What question do I want to pull? Should I fully let go? I'm trying to think of how to turn that into... Okay. This is you. And this is him. I'm getting take a breather. And I'm thinking a lot because I'm getting these mixed signals. Like I'm getting like it might actually change in the future, but definitely right now I'm getting like there needs to be a break that happens because in a lot of ways I think you need to heal from this relationship and you need to focus on healing yourself. And I felt like if you stayed with him, you're missing this piece. And there's something about separating from him that needs to happen so that you can heal from the relationship. Or maybe it's just kind of like on a more personal level, just like getting more in touch with yourself so that you know you can take care of yourself without him. There's not like that codependent energy. However, I got this alchemist card, which is literally like the card of change for him. And so this to me says like he can change, transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. So maybe there's this break might actually help him get all of the junk sorted out and fixed, and the goals and the motives. Like to me, I feel like there's a lack of that with him. You know, it could be within the relationship or like the goals or the vision of the relationship. I also feel like it's with him himself. Like there's something about needing to separate so that he can say, what do I want to do with my life? And then I feel like it could change into something a little bit more positive where he transforms for the better. Like I really see this as a positive card. And, you know, to me, like, trust your own gut here, Monica. But, like, to me, I really feel like you can, you know, get alone time and get space while still being in a relationship. However, I do think there's some times where you really do need full space from each other to fully disconnect. And then, yeah, there is a possibility of you coming back together. So, like, it's interesting because I've never, sometimes, or I haven't ever, but it very often it's very clear, like yes or no. But this is very much like take a break, focus on yourselves, and then see where you're at. So, is in regards to your question of fully letting go, it's like yes, fully letting go for now, but that doesn't mean closing the door forever. But he needs to really do this work for you to open up that door again. You're welcome, Monica. And I look forward to chatting with you tomorrow. We actually have, Monica and I have a reading together tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions on that beforehand, but I look forward to chatting with you. It was awesome. Surprise. The Attunement Festival was a lot of fun. I basically, it kind of petered off towards the end of the night. Less and less people were there. So thankfully, I kind of got the majority of the people when we were coaching, but it was hot. So I could tell people were having a hard time focusing, but it was good. It was good for me to remember how different teaching in person is versus teaching through videos. So that was a really good reminder for me. I think doing a variety of that just really helps you become a better like coach all around. So I'm like really taking it as a positive. So thanks for asking. You weren't there, were you? Oh, okay. Butterfly, let me jump back up to you because Butterfly sent a donation. Am I doing the right thing by staying? Ooh, see, we got a lot of like relationship stuff going on tonight, which is why. Good thing I pulled out this card. Okay. Staying with my partner of 17 years. Because there was something that kind of happened, Butterfly. Like, I'm kind of feeling like a big hiccup. Am I right? Like, and you kind of chose, I'm hearing like you chose to stay, even though in a lot of ways, maybe society or people around you might have been like, if they would have heard what happened, they would have been like, wow, you should have dumped his ass. You know what I mean? But like, and I haven't even pulled the cards, but like, I'm getting that you're reading into the complexities of the relationship, and you're using the fact that there's a lot more good than bad, and you're not just like negating all of the good because of a recent hiccup, if that makes sense. I feel like, did he cheat on you? Am I crazy? But let me pull the cards. Because what I'm hearing, I'm mostly just hearing everything for you, Butterfly, but what I'm hearing is that like it seems like a big mountain. It seems like it's a much easier route to just pick up and go. But it's a lot harder to be like, wow, I have to rebuild. I have to come back to the foundation. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. But I'm kind of hearing that was like the strong option. Like you chose strength. Not that every relationship is like that. I do think that there's some relationships that you shouldn't stick out, but I'm hearing that this one isn't a bad one. Okay. Unless, and I think this is coming out, I pulled Bully in reverse. To me, this is saying like, this is a reminder for me to tell you, like, if you are experiencing like physical abuse, like obviously walk away. I feel like they just wanted to say that, but let's actually ask. Okay. The future of this relationship. I pulled the same card for you that I pulled for Monica. You guys have very similar energy going on. So both Monica and Butterfly, if you had like, if any of this resonates with either of you, take it. Because I pulled the healer card for you, Butterfly. Like, there's some things you need to heal from moving forward in this relationship, and you got to give that to yourself. The relationship needs to be healed. He also needs to kind of do some soul searching. Finding truth, finding wisdom, being a seeker. The fact that it says inability to commit to a path, I feel like this is where he was at. And so now he's kind of having to go through this how do I commit? How do I stay? How do I find the goal and the happiness and the vision of the long term? So maybe that's something like you can help him find. I mean, I don't think that's all on you by any means. He's got to come to that in his own way, but like that's kind of the future that I'm seeing with this is he needs to kind of reset what his intentions are. You need to heal from the situation. Talk less, feel more. To me, this is kind of saying, butterfly, that trust your gut, like sit with things a little bit more. Don't wait to don't jump into like talking, figuring things out, pushing him to do something, pushing yourself to do something. Like really like get in touch. Like I'm feeling like very like intuitive vibes, like getting in touch with your body via yoga, via meditation, so that you can understand how you feel about things before saying like, oh yeah, I'm fine with that, when you're not. I hope that makes sense. Talk less, feel more. I also feel like this is coming up, maybe you just talk at him a lot and it's like you haven't fully formed your thoughts in some ways, and it can be a little bit confusing for him. Not that that's like on you, but like there's just like it's the hermit. Like this is the energy that I'm getting, like hermiting up so you can focus on healing yourself. And he almost needs to do the same. He kind of needs to hermit up so he can kind of like find that vision that again. Okay. Sorry, I'm bumping down to the chat. I was there in spirit. Yes, there's good. I hope he has it. No, I don't think. Okay, that's okay. Well, I think what I was picking up was just like a sense of betrayal from him. And, that could just be betrayal emotionally, just not being there for each other. It doesn't always have to be something like that. But don't let me like get you all paranoid. I could be wrong. We're triggering each other a lot and it's difficult for my healing. Yes. One thing I'm going to throw out there, that a book popped into my head immediately when you said that, and that is How to Do the Work. I think that book is beautiful, especially if you can read it together. I'm doing somatic therapy right now. Oh, perfect. Look at you. Awesome. Well, good luck, Butterfly Totem. I hope it gets better. All right. I think I'm going to do one more free reading, and then I'm going to cap it off just to donations, just because I have to be quicker tonight. I'm so sorry. But let's do, I'm thinking of a color. If you can guess the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the next reading. The book is called How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LaPera. And it's like therapy in a book. It's about self-healing. And it's holistic therapy, I should call it. You're welcome, Butterfly. Oh, what was the color? Okay, nobody's gotten it yet. Yeah, right? Nobody's gotten it yet. Color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of. Some people have gotten a close color. And the funny thing about this story, or this color, is that during my psychic Claire's class that I did at the Attunement Festival, I asked people in the audience to guess the other person's aura color. I said, gold, you got it, Noah Sherpa, gold. Noah, let me know what question you have in the comments down below. Whoa. But yeah, we were talking about the clairs, and so one of the exercises I gave them was guess the person next to you. If they had a color around them, guess what color that would be using your clairs. And so they were reading each other. And then somebody in the audience said, I think Lauren has a gold aura right now, a yellow gold aura. And I laughed because I was like, hey, that's my brand colors. Because like my colors, if you've seen, are kind of like gray, gold, and white. And I joked that my aura was on brand for the day. But yeah, it's gold. Anyway. Yes, I love that book. I've literally only read a couple chapters, but I recommend it to everybody because it's fantastic. We were reading it on the car ride home from Missouri. Noah, when I saw your name earlier, I just had a feeling you were going to get one. So Noah, let me know your question. And I think after Noah, we're going to do donation only. So if you really wanted a reading tonight, get that donation in because I'm probably not going to hang out for too much longer. Again, I've got this like massive contract that I've got to write up. We're trying to save our video business and we need to get some money in to keep our office going. And I really want to keep our office so that I can film the rest of my videos and my courses in there. And we found some people who are willing to help us out. So I have to get it all in writing. Anyways, boring things, but you know what's so weird? I keep smelling that farmhouse that I was at, the Milo farm. Like, and I don't, oh no, it's this shirt. I'm wrong. Yeah, that wasn't psychic. The shirt was clean and I washed it over there and I wore it. So I was like, I keep getting clairalience of like that, of that place. And I was like, I don't think there's anything around me, but I realized the shirt. Anyways, also, I've been dying to do like a podcast. I just can't think of any topic. And I had an amazing topic that I was like, oh, that's going to make such a good podcast. And then I forgot it. So if there's any podcast topics you want to hear, let me know. Yes, I'm getting so good for the pink color. I heard a song in your head, Pink Panthers. So I said pink. And this time I saw a yellow color in your mind's eye and the color was gold. Nice! Those clairs are working. I love to hear it. Oh my gosh. Well, Noah, Lauren opinion, yes. Yes, you have the potential. Everyone is psychic. I mean, I don't know how new you are to me and my channel, but the psychic ability is something everyone can learn. It's a spectrum. It's all about practice, you know. Sometimes I say it so much that I'm like, oh, everyone knows this. But then I come across newbies who just, like, even teaching it in person last weekend was so nice because I'd have people ask me these questions and I forget what it's like to be in that beginner zone. And they had such great questions. Hello, Lucinda Soleil. So yes, you can. That's Lauren speaking. But I'm still going to ask that question. And they want me to pull from this deck. Okay. Because this is the energy that you need to get into. What? Hang on. I don't think that was right. Okay. I'm going to ask, how do you improve your psychic abilities? You know, that's interesting. Okay. So I pulled the Thief and the Femme Fatale card. And those kind of have similar energy. Opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. And the Thief card is kind of about to me, this is about stepping into your own power. With both of these cards, it feels a little dangerous and scary to kind of get into this kind of stuff. And so maybe you're actually being held back a little bit. Like, I'm actually hearing that maybe you're held back by what other people think, or maybe some blocks of like, oh, I don't know, I want to get into the psychic ability, but what will other people say? People will call me crazy. People will call me weird. Like, I don't want to be seen that way. And there's something a little bit fearless about becoming the femme fatale, like becoming your own independent person. And like Thief, that card It's somewhere in here. This is such a huge deck. But I remember that card is about like not letting anybody steal your power or your thunder or your energy. So how you can kind of develop those psychic abilities, I think you first need to start with like the blocks of like what other people will say, or feeling like by doing this you're going to lose your power in some way, because I think in a lot of ways it's going to help you step into that power more and feel more comfortable in your skin and kind of demand this energy of like, no, this is who I am and this is who I want to be. And I feel like sometimes you struggle with that because everyone around you has a very like clear expectation of who they want you to be. And it's really easy to just be like, okay, I'll do what they want. But it's like, what do you want, Noah? And I got the card, believe in your good luck. First quarter moon in Sagittarius. Like Sagittarius, this card to me is kind of like being optimistic, being positive about it. And maybe right now you just kind of look at your psychic abilities very like pessimistically. Maybe it's because of those blocks that I was talking about. Maybe it's just because you're like, oh my gosh, it seems so hard. It seems like such a huge thing to overcome. But like really try to tap into the more optimistic side. Believe in your good luck. Believe in the fact that you can do this. Believe in your psychic abilities. What chakra is that? It's the purple chakra. I don't know them by their... Does anyone know what that one is? I don't know them by their drawings. I want to say that's the third eye, but maybe it's the crown chakra. Yeah, no, duh, because it's purple. Never mind. So yeah, that's the crown chakra. Hang on, I want to pull just one more for you. Do you have the potential to improve your psychic abilities? I'm going to ask what's in your way. Because everyone has the potential. But what's in your way right now? What everyone else thinks. The Hierophant is systems, governments, churches, people in charge of you, people that have more control. It's you being worried about what those people think. I feel like one of the group readings I did earlier in this tonight had a very similar energy about just like not caring what other people think. I think it was like pile number 1. It was that gossip card. Hello, Yurika. So yeah, I think you definitely have that ability. Noah, I think it's starting from a place of what do other people think and trying to let go of that. And I forgot how much that used to bother me. Like, especially being like the first kid in my family, I was always seen as so successful. Like I got into film. I did so well over there. Like we won awards. I've won 2 Emmys actually, which a lot of people don't know. Like I did so well, like good grades. And then it was like, I want to do this thing over here. I want to be a psychic. Like I was so worried about like what my family would say or think. And that was a huge like block for me to have to overcome when I first started. It can be scary, especially when your family is not super open about stuff like that. But I think that is a place to start, Noah. Alrighty, everyone. I think we're going to be capping it off with the free readings there. Again, I can't go too long tonight. Probably going to just hang out for a couple more minutes just to see if anyone does donate. So if anyone really wanted a reading tonight, get those donations in and we will wrap up with those. Next Tuesday is going to be our psychic game nights, psychic game night on Patreon. Following Tuesday is going to be the Patreon member only live. And then the following Tuesday after that would have been another live night with you guys, but I'm going to be out of town again. I've only had 2 vacations, or not vacations, but 2 trips this year. And I just happen to be like really back to back. You're welcome, Noah. Thank you, Monica. Eureka. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. You also, I guess this is sort of an announcement. I've mentioned it before. You're also going to see a break in some of my videos coming up because I am taking a pause to basically film my new course, I should say. And that's going to be, I don't know if I'll upload it as its own like short little video or if it'll just be part of the last video, but I have a little explanation being like, hey guys, I'm going to be MIA for a little bit, got to film, but I'll be back. So that is going to happen soon. I'm like literally, I think I've got 2 or 3 videos in my queue, and then it's like I've got nothing after that. Normally I'd be filming right around now to kind of get ready for that next chunk of videos, but again, I'm going to be filming for my courses, so it feels weird. I don't think I've ever taken a break from my channel since 2019. I have been uploading weekly videos since 2019, you guys. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. I think I've had like a week or 2 off here and there just because like I couldn't get a video up or like something happened. Or maybe I couldn't film quick enough, but like it's going to be a couple weeks where you guys aren't going to hear from me. I don't know if I'm going to do live nights. We're going to see, maybe. I feel like I'll be able to, but no promises there. But obviously Patreon members, you're going to get all the same content, all the same information. So if you're like, oh, I don't want to miss her for a month, you can jump on over to Patreon. You'll still get content over there. Thank you, Linda. So the course that I'm building is my Psychic Development Masterclass. So I have the basic psychic skills course that I have right now. It's really simple. It's really quick. It's very basic. It's a great introduction, but it also gives you a whole lot of, it gives you all the information. But when I made that course, I made it a long time ago and I want to add more to it. So I'm basically calling this my Psychic Development Masterclass. It's literally everything that I can possibly think of in a course. And I'm going to have way more meditations, way more exercises in it. That was a complaint that a lot of people had, was that my first course, there's not a whole lot of exercises. I think back then I couldn't quite think of how to do that via video, but now I know how, especially after doing some of our psychic game nights over on Patreon. So there's just going to be a lot more material there, and it's just going to be new and updated. I feel like I'm a lot better at speaking now, a lot better at coming up with my scripts. Back then, it kind of just felt like I was a little bit just reading my script, rehearsed. I don't know. It's still good, still great information. I just wanted a more in-depth course because I missed a lot in that first one. So it's going to be a very in-depth course. And I will say that if you have purchased my basic psychic skills course, you are going to get the masterclass pretty heavily discounted. Basically what I'm going to do is like the first week or 2 that it's live, anyone that's previously bought my course is going to get it like significantly cheap, like pretty big. I want more people to go over there, and I want you to feel like, you invested your time and money for hanging out with me and, investing in my original course. So just letting you know. I really enjoyed the Udemy course. Oh, that makes me happy. Again, I still think it's great. It's just very like surface level. I want to give even more. And I think I know a little bit more coaching wise what I can do and what I can add. No, you can still donate. Hovers finger over Venmo. Yeah. Like I said, I'm just leaving this last chunk of time open for donations. Because sometimes people like wait to try to get in on a free reading, and then they'll be like, shoot, I didn't get it, but I really want a reading, and then they'll send a donation. Oh, thank you, Yurika. I'm filming half of it next week. Next week is when I'm filming. So that's part of why I'm so freaking busy right now, is I got to finish up those scripts, make sure I like them, make sure they're good, because I got to film them next week. And then I'm basically going on vacation. So my goal is to get half of it done before my vacation. Hopefully the other half done after my vacation. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Yes. Monica, I'll have to look at if Udemy does affiliate links. I've never looked at that. Let me look, because I've done that for other people too. And I know some people already want to promote my course and get it for free, that they've offered to do like trade out for that. So I wonder how Udemy does that. There's got to be something. But yeah, while I'm MIA, you can get started on that old course. You can catch up on my Patreon. You can catch up on these videos. You can catch up on my podcast. There's a lot, hopefully, that you can entertain yourself with while I'm gone. Would you recommend taking both the basic course and the master class? That's a good question, Adrian. I have to think about that. They're not like in reality yet, so I don't know what it's going to look like. But I feel like kind of how I'm aiming it, and I think it's more of a you decision. The basic course is for the people who don't know if they want to get really into it. So the basic course is like, I want to know the basics. I want to have everything. I want to have the structure, but I don't know if I'm like, I need to go super in depth. And so theoretically you'd start there. And then with this master class, it would be like, I want to go all in. I really want to extra learn. I don't think, again, I'm filming week. I don't think I'm going to be so super basic with it. I'm going to go into it with the assumption that you have some understanding of the psychic ability. So like if you have no idea of what the basics are, it might not be the best to jump into. However, I don't think it would be so hard to follow. There are going to be a lot of the basic psychic skills course that is going to be repeated but expanded. Like I'm going to be repeating a lot of that information, but I'm expanding on it way more. Again, adding exercises, adding meditations so that you can fully understand it. I wish I had like a good example of it. Like, for example, in one of the basic courses, I'm like, oh, here's a list of boundary techniques. And I just list them out and then I move on. That's great if you can do your own research and figure out what they are. However, what I want to do with this is be like, okay, let's go through each one of these and let me lead you through that exercise so that you can actually understand it. I hope that makes sense. Paid. Awesome. Thank you, Silly Rabbit. Okay. Let's look for her question. Thank you, Goldie, and thank you for your support. Thank you, all of my Patreon members here, all of you guys for supporting me. I'm starting a new job in September, running my own business at the same time. Any advice on how to maintain and grow my money abundance? I just saw you leaning more into the new job in September. Like, that might, well, obviously it might pay you a lot sooner. There's something about putting your energy into that a little bit more than your business right at the get-go is what I'm hearing, without burning out. But let's ask. I am going to make sure, though, Adrian, in my like trailer for the psychic development course that I specify that a little bit clearer. Because I know basically you'll be going to my website now and you're going to be like, well, which one? Okay. The card that I got for you, Silly Rabbit, is Thief. No one, this is the card I was trying to find earlier. No one can steal anything from you. No one can steal your money, your creative ideas, your affection. I'm hearing your time, your energy, or other things you think that you lack. So, like, the biggest thing to go into September with is just remembering that you're not going to lose anything. You're safe, you're protected. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting. So, like, I'm hearing like they're contradicting what I'm even saying. Like, even if you put full force into your own business versus your new job, like, okay. So visual. They're showing me like you putting, what are those, like jewels? They're almost showing me like Hogwarts style, like the houses, right? You're filling up the cups of your new job or your same business. None of it is negative. You're just adding it to where it needs to get to be. I assume running your own business is where it's profitable and where it's working. Your own job, it's, putting in the time and the energy to grow and, firm out that like job. Like none of it is negative or wrong or going backwards. It's only like adding. It's just which one do you want to spend more of a focus on? But I'm not seeing like a negative or a lack if you decide to focus on one in particular. I hope I'm making sense. But let's ask. I want to pull one more card from this deck. Yeah, I want to pull, since you donated, I'm going to do. Okay. Well, and I think what's going on is that with your own business, you just might not be at a point where like it's quite flowing or working very well. The poet that says expressing soul insights in symbolic language. To me, that's just like really feeling connected to that job to where you can, act on it, do the things that you need to do, feeling really connected to it. So you might not have that. Whereas your September job, right? Like this, I pulled the rescuer card. So it's going to come in and it's going to help you a little bit financially to where you're not burning out. That's why I think they're saying kind of lean on that one, but don't get caught up in your head on like, oh, I'm not spending time on my own business. I'm moving backwards. I'm losing out. It's like, no, you're adding the pebbles. I don't know why they're giving me like this pebbles vision. It's not ever, just because you focus on one doesn't mean you're losing pebbles over here, losing energy, losing time. It'll just stay where it's at, but you're going to add when you can add to it, if that makes sense. So what's the overall advice here? Take a breather. To me, taking a breather is kind of going with what's easy, going with flow, to avoid burnout. So if that's relying more on just solely focusing on this new job so you can bring in the money, make life a little bit easier, like do that for now, because you're not going to lose anything. Again, you have wealth within you that can never be stolen. You're going to get there with both of those jobs. It's kind of about taking a break and, again, avoiding burnout, because we know what happens when we get into burnout, right? We can't do anything. All right. Thank you again, Butterfly. All right. Let me just put these away. I hope that makes sense, Silly Rabbit. It's interesting that they were giving me such like a physical visualization with like pebbles and I don't know. Okay. Butterfly Totem is aiming at creating a business from your art and also life coaching. Which thing should I focus on first to create financial independence? Ooh, yeah, let me pull. Let's use the tarot. Life coaching. I'm automatically hearing with life coaching that the marketing of it is going to be a longer game, because I feel like that's something you're going to have to market yourself, and like you have to create that profile and that like image so that people will want to sign up. And for whatever reason, like people, like this feels like a very practical advice. Like people are a lot less willing to invest in themselves than they are to invest in a piece of material good that they want to buy and like bring into their home and admire. Like we're much more capitalistic in that way. We like material things over investing in ourselves. So I'm hearing like creating your business from your art is going to be a quicker way to make money, because you asked about financial independence. Yeah, okay. Because I got the Three of Swords in reverse. To me, that's saying like a strong, stable sort of like foundation, especially when it comes to like mentally putting all the pieces together, physically putting all the pieces together from your art. Like there's just a stronger foundation there. And there's less room for heartbreak. Like when this card is reversed the other way, it's kind of like the heartbreak card, but this is saying the opposite. Like there's a little bit more success there. However, with life coaching, I pulled the Hanged Man, which says like it needs to be looked at from a new perspective. So maybe the way you're approaching it right now isn't quite working. I'm just going to ask like how you can kind of approach it differently. I pulled the Goddess card. So there's something about connecting more with yourself. Like, really, when I think of the Goddess card, I think of it as like pampering yourself, putting yourself first, setting boundaries, like really saying no to the things you don't want to do or the people you don't want to be around. It's kind of like a full life approach. Like, being a goddess, you kind of have to apply it to all areas of life, right? And there's something about you demanding a little bit more for yourself that's going to make you see the life coaching from a new perspective. You know, maybe it's that you're giving it away for really cheap, and once you kind of step into this goddess energy, you know, you realize, you know what, no, I need to demand more for that coaching service or something like that. Oh no, your Wi-Fi got disconnected. Well, just know you can also rewind it. You can go back at least. And I think the great thing about your art is it's always going to keep you moving forward. It's going to keep you like always focusing on what new thing can I create. This is the Seeker card. It's going to help you connect with your inner wisdom and your inner trust, which I do think will help a little bit more with that goddess energy. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning more towards the art because I think it'll come to fruition a little bit quicker. And I think the life coaching can be a thing, but it just needs a little bit of a new face, if that makes sense. Let's ask. Overall advice for butterfly. Make time for self-love. Exactly what that goddess energy is. Last quarter moon in Libra, this, you know, when I think Libra, this is balancing, you know, making sure that you are putting enough into yourself, your time, your energy. And maybe because you're not, you know, giving that to yourself a little bit more, you're not demanding what you need back from people. Like, I see that happen all the time where people sell their art for like so cheap and they're so good. They could be, you know, asking for more money. And sometimes when you sell things for more, people want it more because they think the demand is higher. They think the art is better. Like, not like trying to say like we're going to manipulate people, but there's something about saying I'm worth it and I'm going to take care of myself that, like, I think is going to help push this along. Because overall what it is it's your mentality, you know, it's the law of attraction. Where are you at? If you're constantly telling the universe I'm not worth it because I don't take care of myself or give myself the things I need, you know, how are you going to find people in your life that think you're worth it to pay for, you know? And it's almost like you need to give yourself a little bit of your own life coaching advice before you start giving that to other people. It's almost like the energy that I'm getting. That doesn't mean you can't start. Like, don't keep me from like giving you or getting you from moving. I don't think you have to be a perfect healer that's 100% healed before you can help others. That's definitely not what I'm trying to say. Of course. Well, good luck, butterfly. I hope that helps. I think we're going to wrap it up now, though. I'm going to give like 1 or 2 more minutes just in case anyone was waiting, but all right, you guys. So next time, I have no idea when we're going to get live next time, but if you want to know, go to my website. I will have it up there. I need to update that. I'm going to write myself a note because I don't know if I have it written in my calendar to update our live night dates. Again, in the meantime, follow me on Facebook. We do have a Facebook group. We're also on Patreon, so there's a lot of extra content there, and Instagram as well, and a podcast. I really need to come up with another podcast. Like, I'm itching to do a podcast, but I don't have a topic. And again, I came up with like the best one while I was on that trip, but I can't remember it. I feel like it had something to do with like small town energy, but I don't know how I was relating that back to the psychic ability. Yes. And butterfly totem, if you're anything like me, Pisces I'm a Pisces sun. Pisces are the wounded healers. We will put ourselves last. All right, you guys, I think that's it. We're going to have a new tarot video up on Saturday. It's just going to be an introduction to tarot. It's just giving you the basics, the outline, everything you need to start learning the tarot. And I think next week will actually be a pick a card. Maybe I'm supposed to film that this week, but I don't even know what I'm doing. I haven't even figured it out yet. So I'm playing catch up this week, obviously. Very busy. I hear you, fellow Pisces. Thank you. Yes. Ugh. Pisces are bad. We put everyone, well, I shouldn't even say that we put everyone first, but we will often not heal ourselves before doing the work for other people or just doing anything. We're bad at that. You're a Leo. Awesome. Well, I think that'll be a plus for your marketing. That's what I'm hearing, at least. Alrighty, you guys. I think that's it. I will see Patreon members next week for our psychic game night, and I will see again Patreon members for our member only live night a week after that. So that is the last Tuesday of the month. So alrighty, you guys, I hope you have a fantastic night. Sorry I had to jump off so early. I'm just very busy. And you're going to see that a little bit in my Sabbath video. If you haven't been watching my Sabbath videos, they're kind of a nice like recap of this whole year and everything that's been going on in my life. And I'm kind of relating it back to the Sabbaths and the seasons. And there's something about like summer that I just sign up for so much. And it's because things are open, events are happening, you go out and you're trying to get all these things done before it gets cold again. And I'm definitely in that mood of just like, get all this done before winter rolls around. And that's the energy that I'm in. And you'll see a little bit of that in the Sabbath video. The next Sabbath video will come out after Mabon, though, because I'm doing 2 chunks of 2. So I did the first 2 Sabbats, second 2 Sabbats, and then we had Lunasa, Lamas, which I filmed it, and now I need Mabon. And so this next Sabbath video will be Lunasa and Mabon. And Mabon is the start of fall. So we're actually hitting the start of fall September, I think it's 23rd. Honestly, I start fall way before that. Like fall for me starts on September 1st. I'm already seeing Halloween in my feed. So I'm probably going to be ahead of that game. But that's probably all for the better because then my house will be all decorated. When do you guys decorate for fall? September 1st. Well, September 1st is my husband's birthday. So I let it be his birthday, but then I'm like, all right, Halloween. Oh, thank you, Butterfly. Oh, thank you, Goldie. I feel like Goldie, you take the time to watch them and appreciate them, and I really appreciate that. And they're a little bit more vlog style, so you can actually see a little bit more of life, which I know some people definitely want to see that on my channel. They're curious about me and what I do with my family. Other people are just here for the information and then they move along. Totally fine. But if you're into the more vlog style stuff, you'll get another one after Mabon. So after September 23rd, you should be seeing another one. And then the final 2 Sabbats are the best Sabbats out of the year. That's Samhain, which is Halloween, and then Yule, which is Christmas. So that last Sabbath video is going to be long, I assume, because we're probably going to have a lot planned for Halloween and Christmas. My mind can't even go there right now. I only can think about 2-3 weeks out. That's how summer is, though. I'm so ready to slow down already, though. So ready to slow down. The 2 messages I got from you today were both very validating. Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, thank you, Spirit. Thank you all. Thanks for being here tonight. And I will see you next time. Alrighty. Good night, folks. End stream. There's always a delay. It's always really weird. All right. Good night, everyone.